Ah, this would appear to be the UG maintenance area. You should find a terminal there. Something they use to upload mission parameters to the UGs.
And something I can use to access the lab's main server?
Perhaps. But first you need to take a dump.
Wait, what?
A dump? A digital optical output mounted proxy. You'll need one to interface with the terminal. Most any UG should suffice. A tripod or the like.
I'll see what I can come up with. How do I use it?
Simply connect to it. You should be able to use your communications outlay to control the proxy UG.
All right, let's give it a shot.
And again, pretty good sense of humor there from the pretty common in Metal Gear games. So before we can actually access the system's main database, main servers, we're gonna have to take a dupe. So let's see if we can find a place to do that. Okay, so in here, first if we want, we can get to yet another repair nanopaste over here in the corner. Now, with this room, it's a pretty good idea to do it stealth-wise, which is a little bit tricky, because these two guys here that are in frame will pretty much just keep walking back and forth along those lines they're walking on. This guy will kind of come around the corner and go up the stairs, so we're going to have to wait for him to move for a little bit. Also, we picked up, I did pick this up, right? Open up that, yeah, we also picked up a red Phosphorus Grenade, which you might be able to use here, but it'd be a little risky, I think, because they're pretty spread out. I don't think you'd be able to take them all out fast enough. Okay, so let's wait until he's in everyone's blind spots. This should work. So we finish him off, and then if we hold L2 at this point, we can just sit down in our box, and that'll keep anyone from being able to see us. So now we're going to wait for this guy to complete his walk to the other side.
Right. I thought you said stealth ops were your specialty.
Oh, that didn't quite work. I think the guy in the corner saw me. It's really no big deal. We can take these guys out. The reason that I mentioned you might want to do this stealth-wise, it seems almost sort of programmed that you're not supposed to be able to, because there's like special dialogue for when you mess up. But this is kind of the reason you may have been able to guess. We're going to have some raptors on us, so I think if we take out this raptor before we take out the guy that's over there, it'll actually prevent the second one from spawning until this first one's done. Because if we take out all the guys, the second raptor will come out, and that makes things a little bit more difficult. So I'd rather just deal with him by himself here. He's doing this little EM field a lot. Oh yeah, he's also got these things, which if they hit you, will pretty much just stun you. Trying to get a counter, I guess it's just not really working. Alright, so I managed to get his Zendatsu while it was falling, so I guess that works. Now it's safe to take this guy out. And we should have one more raptor jumping out, I believe. Yep, there he is. Thankfully, those other two just stay there. Alright, not bad. The time was a little weird. That seems a little strict to me, because I think I did okay with it, but that's fine with me.
If they continue to increase security, they may shut out all outside network connections. Please do your best to avoid being seen.
And no, you don't have to worry about that at all. There's no, like, Splinter Cell type alarm system or anything, so you just kind of get that dialogue if you get caught here, otherwise it gets skipped. That's really the only consequence, so we've got action attention here, so let's get to it. Oh, alright, well, time for some combat, it seems. Don't get too overzealous taking everybody out, though, because if we take a look at AR mode, you can see one of these guys is actually a lefty. It's the guy with the gun. So, let's see if we can get a good shot here. Okay, good. I actually managed to get it. Doing it in combat as opposed to kind of taking them out stealthily from behind is kind of a lot harder to get the left arm from. So it takes a little bit of practice maybe to get down. Alright, so now I've just got a few kind of regular guys to deal with here. Oh, I forgot the combo, because these guys usually don't get it off. Looks like it was 3 hits, though. Let's go ahead and take out the guy with the gun. It's kind of annoying that they keep just throwing guys in that do nothing but shoot at you. Like, it's just a little annoying, because, I mean, their guns do basically nothing other than just keep you from getting a no damage bonus, you know? And this would also be a good time, I guess, to kind of try out the pole arm with some normal dudes. Yep, not too bad. Let's see if I can send Datsu. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, well, overall, comparatively good rating. Again, sometimes I feel like it's going to be bad and it's not, but oh well.
For now, yeah. But that room, those were cyborg brain casings.
Duh, we saw.
George said they were harvesting organs from kids.
Yes, this must be why they are trafficking children. Perhaps other organs are being sold elsewhere, but they are definitely taking their brains.
Jesus, are they making these kids into cyborgs?
Wait, the cyborgs you've been fighting, did they seem like they might be kids? You said earlier that child soldiers have a telltale approach to combat.
Yeah, but I didn't see it here. Those weren't kids.
So, what? Desperado's just doing the surgeries there?
We've got to do something about all those brains. And the other kids George was talking about. He just escaped a few hours ago. They couldn't have taken all their brains out that fast.
True. There could still be a bunch of kids they haven't touched yet.
I better move.
Yeah, so I can definitely see Desperado is involved in some pretty shady dealings in many multiple ways, you know, one of which is definitely ethically. So looks like they're harvesting children's brains. That's not a sentence I thought I would say, you know, on a fairly regular basis. But so we're going to have to find out just exactly what's up here and if they've got some other kids they haven't touched yet. So we're going to have to find a dwarf gecko to do so, and you can see this one right here. We're actually going to interface with this thing.
Haha, splendid! It is all ours. Now, use it to locate a data input terminal.
These guys are pretty jumpy now. Any funny business, and they might just open fire.
Try latching onto cyborgs' heads from behind. Then, an electric shock should knock them unconscious.
I love controlling this little guy. This is like the best thing. All right, get up, buddy. Okay, so now we're in control of the tripod. This is probably one of the best parts of the game. We get to just kind of mess around here. Enemies are not inherently kind of alerted to us here if we just walk up to dudes. They really don't seem to mind. We can just kind of, you know, run around in front of them. Doesn't really matter. Of course, we can do a couple things here, and they're going to actually hide 2 different data storage chips here that we have to get as the tripod. One of which is in this little tunnel over here. You can just grab that data storage. Also, it's worth mentioning the music in this background section is really good. I enjoy it quite a lot as an ambient track. So it's kind of a shame that you really only get to hear it for a few minutes. And there's also another data storage chip up here. Alright, so we can kind of go around. There's actually quite a lot of places you can explore in this room. If you're good enough with jumping, which I'm going to try to do, you can kind of make your way. I don't think, yeah, you can't really do it from there. But you can make your way up. Maybe this way. This is kind of a long jump, but there you go. Oh, fell off. Alright, you can get on top of the containers here. You can jump on this thing. You can make your way up. And now there's actually a dwarf gecko standing up here. Let's... Yeah, alright. Telling you, I love these guys. So he kind of claps. He's happy. We can take him out if we want to. We can kind of slap him in the face. And they'll get knocked over. And you can also do a rolling attack. So yeah, finish one of them off. Again, doesn't really make anyone too suspicious, but it's maybe worth going through taking all these guys out. There's really only one that I'm going to worry about. You can actually get right up behind him, kind of like stealth kills, and just press circle when they're right in front of you. Our objective is basically just to get up here. But as we do so, there's just one dude that I want to take out. So there we go. Let's wait for him to turn around. This is the guy I kind of just want to knock out here. At least I think it's this one. It might be one further down. Okay, no, it was definitely that one. And where we're actually going to end up going with the dwarf gecko is right in here. So once we hop in, we'll finish up. And believe it or not, you actually get rated on this, and that was a B because I was a little bit slow. Basically, if you just run straight through it, you can get an S.
Most likely designed to download mission data and such into the UGs. Let's try using it to access the lab server.
Okay, so now we're in this little room here. I guess we could hop back. Oh, no, we can't. The vent closed on us. Oh, well, too bad. So we can interface with this little computer here, and I like this. Oh, turned the wrong way. I'm telling you, I do that all the time. I love just that one little thing there. It's a nice little touch.
Raiden, I found something. In one of the Sentry Cyborg's visual logs. Guess who shows up?
Patch it through.
Right away.
Send us what you do have. You've already commenced the plan.
The Sears program?
Yep. Same one old Georgie boy used on the kids in Liberia. Of course, it's right straight to the brain now. Feels as real as anything else.
Your work is astonishing.
And your work is late. We need to ship before our cover is blown. We've got some assholes snooping around.
We just do not have the full quantity yet. Each brain has its own unique requirements. It's not like we can just pop them out with an ice cream scoop.
All right. You've made your point.
Oh, thank you for understanding.
Send what you have now or destroy any unharvested inventory.
Okay? But have you any idea what they cost?
Last I checked, children weren't exactly rare in this part of the world. Millions of them, in fact. You can get more once we set up a new lab. They lead lives of hunger and pain. We're performing a service here for them and the cities they burden.
But just gathering the donors required a significant investment.
Yes, you'll get the money. Accounting will be in touch.
Gracias. I assure you we will dispose of our inventory the instant we can confirm payment.
Are we done here? I've got a full slate today. Tecumseh is a demanding mistress, and America has suffered long enough.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me see you out.
You see that, Kev? Imani's killer.
Desperado's chief of operations goes by Sundowner, the Californian wildfire.
The kids.
Think we're too late?
Only one way to find out. George was still alive. Maybe the payment hasn't come through yet.
Maybe. But you heard what he said. They've already started some brains on VR training.
There must be more than just what I found here. What about the VIP in the suit?
I'll find out. He definitely seemed familiar.
Right. I'm going after the kids.
Okay, and then the shutters open here, and we're going to have an alert. If you manage to take out every single enemy, including all the dwarf geckos as the tripod, these guys wouldn't bother you. They'd still be knocked out. Oh, there we go. They'd still be knocked out here on the floor, so you could pretty much either take them out if you wanted to, or just kind of leave them to lay there. It doesn't really matter. But since I didn't really bother taking anyone else out, it's kind of just more trouble than it's worth. We're going to have to fight some dudes here. Alright, so there's just a couple more left, but I think some more are actually going to spawn. Maybe a couple tripods are. Yeah, I'm not so used to combos with the pole arm, so it might be a little bit sloppy getting some of these Zendatsus. Alright, I think, yeah, just a few more tripods, maybe just this one. Alright, and that'll do it. So now, coming through this area is Raiden. There's actually a couple more things we do want to make sure to take care of. For one, the guy we knocked out here on the catwalk, there's a reason for that. Dude actually has ID data, so now that he's knocked out, we have a pretty clean shot. If you miss this, I don't know what to tell you. So, there we go. I was kind of worried that I was going to miss it after saying that, so thankfully it was fine. Okay, and then, oh, did not want to jump down there. I should be able to go back up here, actually. Okay, so now following the catwalk around and not jumping down, we'll lead to this blade mode box. We can strike it, and that'll give us our next Endurance Plus. So now we're up to a maximum of 130%. So we can head down, and the exit door is just over here for Raiden. So we want to activate this.
Bad news, Raiden. We can't find George.
What?
Maybe the coordinates you sent us were off?
No way. I merged the GPS location of our entry with all my movement data from that point on.
This is bad.
You think they got to him first?
I don't know. I'll have our guys sweep the area.
Thanks. I better keep moving.
Oh no, George is missing. What will we do? Okay, I guess it's probably a bad thing. So, hopefully Desperado didn't find him and get to him again, you know? So a couple things to pick up there. There's a repair nano paste, also an EM grenade. I think we're getting quite a few of those at this point, which is good because they're going to be super helpful. Yeah, we're at 4 or 5. Alright, and another door to open. Kind of getting a little tedious with, you know, having to press a button on every door we come around. Also, it's wanting to tell me how to wear the cardboard box. I don't know why that popped up. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a mini-boss fight here against the Grodd. Before we actually head its way, though, I want to kind of head around these containers. Nothing super important back here, but there's a blade mode box that contains a BP hollow chip and give us an extra 5,000. So in order to make our way up, we can kind of do this the safe way if we want.
Blocking the way. Push that thing back.
By just sort of, you know, hiding against the walls here, and then we can run up to it at the end. It's going to see, yeah, those homing missiles are kind of hard to avoid. Really, the only way to take care of them is to deal with them in blade mode, which I really did not want to have to stop and do. If you can get a counter attack, that's the best way to do it. There we go. That'll push him way back. Okay, just get back. There we go. I don't know why it was taking so many hits.
Careful, it is all new battle now.
Alright, so as Boris said, it's now switched to biped mode, and it's shooting me in the face a lot, which is kind of unusual. So he's going to be moving around a lot. He's actually quite fast in this form. I don't know exactly what the technology is behind it, but it's pretty impressive, I gotta say. So what I like to do with this guy is basically just get in close and try to hit him with melee. I'm actually going to unequip the pole arm here, which unfortunately you have to stand still for, because I like to just do some good old-fashioned sword combos. I don't need to know how to use the box combat manual. I don't know what's up with that. Alright, so that'll get him stunned, and we can get some good combos in here. Basically, my strategy is just to stay right up against this guy and stay right in his face, and that'll usually keep him doing melee attacks, you know, which you have plenty of indication for. You can parry. He's got a couple that are somewhat quick he might have to watch out for. He's got a leg sweep that requires multiple parries, and also I think one of his like headbutting attacks can be pretty fast, so just watch out for any time you see an attack indication. We've also got him stunned kind of repeatedly here, which is good. And anytime he moves back, just do a ninja run and get right back at him again. Thankfully, he's not firing those homing bullets, so I'm actually just getting a lot of opportunities. He's also kind of like stuck in the cannon state here for a while. So as you can see, anytime he goes back, if you pretty much just stay right with him, there's not a lot he can do. and down he goes with the slightly strange camera angle at the end. So that fight went okay, not the best, but fine at least.
Right. I knew I'd seen that guy before. Stephen Armstrong. As in Colorado Senator Stephen Armstrong. They're already talking about him as a shoo-in for the nomination in 2020. And get this. 2 years ago, a federal grand jury investigated his ties to a certain private...
World Marshal. One of the biggest PMCs out there. I remember.
The biggest, ever since the Big Five split up. Not to mention the single largest investor in military cyborg R&D in the world. Guess that answers the question of who's backing Desperado.
Marshall and Desperado in bed together. Should make for some fun headlines.
Headlines? This is World Marshal and a U.S. Senator we're talking about. There won't be any headlines. Even without the Patriots filter, no major media outlet will investigate allegations like these. It'd be financial and political suicide.
So we just what? Sit back while they keep carving up kids, stand aside while they build an army of cyborgs? You heard them. We shut down one lab, they build another. They're planning something big, Kev. We can't just wait for it to happen. We need to hit them first and hit them hard where it counts.
No, Raiden, no. I know what you're thinking, and just no. Colorado is in America, and America has these things called laws.
Mm-hmm. And law enforcement in Denver was privatized and farmed out to...
Marshall, yes, so what? There are still laws, and it's their headquarters, for Christ's sakes. You'd be heading right into the heart of a raging shitstorm.
I didn't say it would be easy. We'll figure it out once the kids are safe.
Jesus Christ. Kevin, out.
Okay, so after defeating the Grodd, we have now got even more plot development. I guess kind of what this chapter may lack a little bit in action, it might make up for in some plot development. So we learned that World Marshal, headed by Colorado Senator Armstrong, not exactly who you would first think would be behind all this, but he's actually the backer for Desperado and seems to be the one kind of behind all this stuff. So kind of have to figure out what we're going to do about that afterwards, but we have a little bit of a higher priority in front of us right now. Okay, so we're getting very near to the end of this chapter. You can see on a Soliton radar, we've got a couple guys around the corner here, and if we use augmented reality, they're trained literally right for us, and one of them also has a data chip in his left hand. So you may think there's no real way to get around these guys without getting caught, but we can actually use a sub-weapon that we just picked up that I've mentioned before. We now have 2 of them, so that's good. This is the red Phosphorus Grenade, and if we aim this just right, we can kind of bounce it off the wall here. And it'll land just in front of them, causing the smoke cloud to go up. Then at this point, if we hug the wall here, we should be able to get by this guy, come up behind him, and this will give us a chance to get his left hand. And Zendatsu. I thought I was going to miss it, but thankfully it was fine. And we can also stealth kill this guy. And we finished that room without getting detected. It's a little bit tricky, got to use a sub-weapon, but...
That's my boy.
But definitely doable with red phosphorus. Alternatively, you might be able to throw out an EM grenade and stun them. I don't think you'd be able to do a stealth kill from that, though. So you may just be forced to fight them after that. Look at a pool of blood on the floor. That's kind of gross. Okay, so this is pretty much the end as you take a look at the radar up there. Not a lot after this, so let's go ahead and open our one last door here. As we head in, we can also turn to the right and collect our next VR mission.
Ah, an artificial blood cryopreserver. They must have begun preparatory freezing.
What do you mean?
That device is filled with synthetic blood plasma. It can slow the metabolism of a harvested organ, circulating this plasma to sustain oxygen levels. You can preserve an arm, a brain, any body part for several hours.
So what are they freezing, and why?
I could not say. Perhaps they plan to sell off the organs of the children they were told to dispose of.
Unbelievable.
You had best hurry, Raiden.
Right.
Yep, and again, more nefarious scheming on these guys' parts. You could, there's really no moral gray area here. This is pretty much entirely in the wrong on every single front. So not a whole lot to check out here. One last button to press, and one last scene to watch.
Shit!
Hey, stop right there!
George! Right in!
You've heard of chloroform? A potent anesthetic in smaller doses. But breathe too much of it? And adios, muchachos! Break that glass, and I'll blow his brains out! Surrender! Or decide, the needs of the many, or the needs of the few.
Right in! Don't worry about me now.
Quiet, pendejo! Surrender! I won't ask again.
George, are you sure? I'm ready. Me life now so precious. Ting, what if we can take this skunt to hell with me?
Cállate!
That's all I needed to hear.
Stop it! Now! I'll kill him, I swear!
Dude, break the glass. You gotta let the kids out, man. Come on. Don't forget about that. Okay, so that fit. Wow, I actually got an A for the chapter. I'm somewhat surprised. I figured that one B would make it an overall B ranking, but, well, I guess we did all right. Okay, so that ends file R02. So it looks like I assume we managed to save the kids, even though it wasn't implicitly shown. However, we sliced through the doctor there at the end, and maybe through George in the process. Obviously, you know, it's kind of obscured for for good reason, but we'll learn a little bit more about that later. And that's actually going to end up being kind of a major turning point in Raiden's character. You know, it's kind of something we're going to come back to quite a bit. So let's go ahead and tally up our BP. And I think this is, we don't have a secret weapon to unlock. Oh, we do have the Mariachi uniform, though. So I love that one. It's the uniform that he wore at the beginning of the file, you know, when we were infiltrating the sewers. So that's unlocked now, and that's definitely an interesting one if you kind of want a somewhat wackier Metal Gear Rising experience, I suppose. Anyway, that's going to do it for file R02. We managed to disrupt their actions here at the lab, so I guess next Raiden probably wants to go after World Marshal. Boris and Kevin and the crew probably aren't having it, so I guess we'll have to see what we do from here. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.